I'm really disdaining about this Love Island fan base up to this point, especially when it comes to the black castmates, is people treating simple basic human grace like it's a tick for tack situation. And I really do get irritated seeing this discourse because people act like it's impossible or it's just not humanly possible to be fair when it comes to the black castmates, regardless of what their sex is, their gender is. And it's like, it's the means to have bias towards whatever your gender is at the expense of the other that's very irritating to me. And this is shown with the whole Casey and Anaya like storyline, I guess. Like, and it's irritating. It's irritating because you have women on here treating it like Casey's emotions is not valid. He's corny for expressing them. He's too sensitive and all these other derogatory statements when it comes to his emotions because he's a black man. Meanwhile, they're the same people advocating for Anaya's emotions to be, humanized and understood and empathized with because of their own biases towards their gender. And even though I haven't seen too many men do this, I have seen, a few do the same with KC. And my thing about it is, it's like, why are we treating it like it's a tick for tack situation? Even down when it comes to the whole colorism thing. And this is one of the dishonest things about, I don't know what this fan base is when it comes to Anaya, where so many people are projecting and vicariously living through her, and they're perpetuating like very questionable anti-blacks like race signals and like other things in relation to the Casa Amor event, in relation to how they reacted to Soul and how they were weaponizing Casey's attraction to Soul with like colorist allegations. Meanwhile, every man that she's been interested in on the show has been like canonically, racially ambiguous or light skinned. And my thing about that is, it's just a constant tick for tack situation. It's like, why is it so hard for people to be fair? Why is it so hard for people to give grace mutually as black people? It has to be a tick for tack situation. And the ironic thing about this that really gets me is that you will have these women, some of these women that be perpetuating these race signals in relation to how they're describing KC and how they're describing Carl, right? You will have them perpetuating all these things, right? But in the same breath, also wonder why, in the same breath, some of the black men around them don't have any emotional capacity for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why do we have to dehumanize one another? Why is it always an either or situation? Why is it impossible for these people to be fair? And my thing is, like, some of these ladies are saying some of the most harmful, hurtful things on social media in relation to this black man on the show, this unambiguous black man on the show. Like, other black guys and black boys aren't seeing this commentary. And to put it up front, it's just not unfair because anyone who's been watching the show have seen the hit list that people have harbored at Casey for how he looked and how they view men that look like him. Like, that's just true. It's just unequivocally true. That's a fact. There's been a hit list on him before he even displayed anything, and I'm even including the corny stuff from the recent episode. There's been a hit list on him since the first episode. Since the first episode, based off how he looked. It wasn't for Sincere, wasn't for Sean, wasn't for Bryce, wasn't for Zach, wasn't for none of these people. It's been specifically targeted towards Casey in a ways that is distinguishably identifiable. And it's weird. It's weird. And earlier on, there was that same thing with Anaya as well. And it was weird. I just think people really need to recognize that things have causes and effects. If you're a black woman getting up here making it seem like black boys' emotions don't matter, when they express their emotions openly, they're corny, they're soft, and your initial thought is to project these derogatory statements, please do not act surprised when in real life that same amount of apathy translates to how black men respond to you. Because when you have a platform, you have to understand that real people are consuming this. I know a lot of people may not think that these are real people that be behind these tens of thousands of views that accumulate on our account, but these are real people that consume our content, and you have to be cognizant of that. So when you're perpetuating the dehumanization of these men and men that look like him, you know what I'm saying, and they're saying that, and more so it's in an unfair way in how you're doing it, do not act surprised, do not act shocked, do not cry crocodile tears, and do not perpetuate think pieces when you are the recipient of that same amount of apathy. There are so many content creators across social media that capitalize on these unhealed wounds and these gender disdain when it comes to the black community and the different genders and things like that. These grifters. And a lot of people don't reflect to like process and like release whatever internalized hate or bias they harbor towards their counterparts. And it's sad. It's sad. It's really fucking sad to see. As a page that has been fair with both of them, but it's been calling out the unfair commentary because again, I'm gonna be fair. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't be so willing to throw colorist allegations on KC, but did not take into account in questioning what Anaya is doing on the show. Most of the compliments she's said on the show, unless production is editing everything out in relation to the castmates, has been towards light skinned or racially ambiguous men. That's literally where most of, if not all of her compliments have been directed towards. disproportionately. You can't say the same thing for KC. Yet still he's the performative one. You know what I'm saying? And even down with the double standard when it comes to exploration. You have these same ladies that be demonizing KC and the guys for exploring be the same one jumping up in arms celebrating the girls for exploring. Even when it came down to Corbin and first entering the villa. When Corbin first enters the villa, the ladies was jumping up and down for him. They was working their sets. They literally was passing him around, no shade. And the ladies didn't have no commentary on it. But the moment Soul comes inside the villa, then that's where all this projection starts to happen. And there's been people that made commentary on this. You know what I'm saying? All this projecting, all these colorist allegations specifically at KC to like guilt trip and gaslight him into not pursuing her. Even Anaya did that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all weaponize that for him not to explore that girl. But here comes the Casa Amor event. They had options of different skin tones, and every dark skinned person they didn't select. You can't say that for the guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing. Like, it's like, and there's been some ladies that's been calling it out, but I just wish the biases wasn't this bad and people would actually humanize each other and have a semblance of grace and like fairness amongst one another and not get caught up in the fucking grift gender wars. It's exhausting, it's tired, and it's just disappointing that people don't actually reflect on themselves to like deprogram whatever traumas and sentiments they harbor towards their counterparts like this. It's just really sad.